in the legislation of the Emergencies Act, previously called the War Measures Act, it's such an overreach of our rights as Canadians that it automatically triggers an inquiry. This inquiry in 2022 is called the Commission.
On February 14th this year, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergencies Act as his response to the convoy within Ottawa and the multiple blockades which took place during the same time frame. The Public Order Emergency Commission was established by the Governor in Council on April 25, 2022, to conduct an independent public inquiry as required by the Emergencies Act following the declaration of a public order emergency by the Government of Canada on February 14, 2022. The inquiry must submit its final report to the government with findings and recommendations by February 6, 2023. Appointed by Prime Minister Trudeau, the Honourable Paul S. Rouleau will act as Commissioner of the Public Order Emergency Commission. He says, "The Commission is about to embark on the public phase of the process of finding answers to the questions assigned to it by Parliament under the Emergencies Act. This critical phase will shed light on the events that led to the declaration of the public order emergency and fully explore the reasons advanced for the declaration."
The Commission has named 65 potential witnesses and expects to call forward at least 50 of them in the time coming. And that list includes Ottawa locals, organizations, and businesses, along with protesters, police or law enforcement, I should say, and as well some government officials, including Justin Trudeau.
One of the named individuals subpoenaed is Marco Van Huigenbos, a Fort Macleod town councillor who, along with two other individuals, was charged with mischief over $5,000, at the same time as they were being alleged by the RCMP to be key participants of the Coutts Blockade. A catalyst for Premier Jason Kenney's resignation as people across Alberta stood up to protest in the thousands against vaccination mandates and other restrictions that were being brought on by all levels of government. This took place alongside numerous other blockades across the country, all taking place at the same time as the convoy to Ottawa. Marco's case has been adjourned until November 4th, at which time we will have more information on the charges laid against him. Through truckerlawyer.ca, these three individuals and others have been provided legal representation for free, thanks to the generosity of supporters who have crowdfunded their legal defense.
Marco spoke with us briefly about his subpoena to appear before the Commission in Ottawa shortly to come. We don't know exactly when that's going to happen yet, but
he is anticipated to speak about how and if the Coutts Blockade was associated with the invocation of the Emergencies Act. Here's our interview with one of the 65 individuals now subpoenaed to speak at the Emergencies Act Commission.
So, in the legislation of the Emergencies Act, previously called the War Measures Act, it's such an overreach of our rights as Canadians that it automatically triggers an inquiry. This inquiry in 2022 is called the Commission. I've been subpoenaed to testify at the Commission in regards to my involvement at Coutts. There's many unknowns, but within the next couple weeks, the Commission will book a flight for myself and my council, and I'll be going to Ottawa to speak to the Coutts episode and how that affected and how the EMA, how that was associated with the Emergency Measures Act.
I hope you appreciate what he had to say, and let me remind you guys that you got to go to truckercommission.ca. We're going to be covering this event from front to finish in Ottawa. We're going to be sending a team back there, and you know the coverage that we had last time we sent people over, so I encourage you to help us out. We're going to get an Airbnb. We're going to send everybody, and if you want to help us do that, you want to help us cover this unprecedented story, well, you got to go to truckercommission.ca. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Sydney Fizzard. Truckercommission.ca is where you have to go if you want to help support our independent journalism. As I just mentioned, we're going to be sending a bunch of people down there to cover this unprecedented event. And if you want to help our coverage instead of hearing what the mainstream media has to say about it, well then, you got to go to truckercommission.ca.